The alpha for the upcoming hack and slash For Honored released this week, and here's my impressions. We're going to go over the basics of the game, how combat works, and then my overall thoughts towards the end of the video. So For Honor, it's a hack and slash PvP game, and the flagship mode for the game is called Dominion, which houses many different elements. You've got a 3-point capture system here. You gain battle points for holding these capture points, and then when you reach the limit, the game's over. Minions also occupy the battlefield in this mode, and killing them grants you experience points that allow you to level up during the match and use your special preset abilities. Things like smoke bombs, battle cries, standards, and other cool abilities. You set these up before you go into the game. You've got your choice of 3 different classes depending on what flavor you want. You got the Knights, Vikings, and the Samurai. I won't beat around the bush. Most of these classes actually feel pretty balanced, which is really surprising. This is an alpha, so it's really early on in the development lifecycle. Each of them has unique abilities, and although they control relatively similar, they each feel really unique. Currently, the Knights can lob around giant two-handed swords or maces. You got the brutish Vikings with the giant battle axes, and the Samurai, they've got samurai swords, the big shocker there. You win points that count towards your character levels after the game, and are rewarded loot and cosmetic items that you can cash in during the off time between games. This system will likely be expanded upon later, but the bones of it are there and it feels pretty compelling, the progression. As new classes are added, you'll have to spend some of those points you earn to get them, but currently in the alpha you can play any subclass you want to get your hands on. As for the game modes, I'm only going to cover Dominion here, but you can also enter gameplay modes for Duel and Brawl, which are smaller modes for 2 to 4 players respectively. So the first thing you're going to want to do when you get into a match of Dominion in For Honored is run full speed ahead like Wile E. Coyote and try to kill everyone you see. It's the Call of Duty mindset we've all been engineered to adopt, but it's the fast track to getting yourself killed and making your progression useless during the game. I will be the first to admit, for the first few hours of my time with this game, I tried to go batshit crazy on everyone. I found myself in the mix of some pretty nasty and hairy fights, rolling around in the muck, spam clicking, and often getting surrounded by multiple people. This is the quickest way to get yourself killed. This is not a game for Call of Duty fans. It's a tactical action game that emphasizes the word tactical. For Honored features a tri-directional melee system. You can attack or defend overhead, to the left, or to the right. This is where the meat and potatoes lie within the game. And I can earnestly say this is one of the reasons I kept coming back to this game. It seems like such a simple system at first, but the complexity comes in later. Your mind will go through phases when you play For Honored. First, you'll figure out the best way to attack in a 1v1 setting. It's a dance of arms, bobbing and weaving around your opponent to find an opening. And some of those openings are very small depending on who you're facing. Then you'll figure out the art of defending and how to track the movements of a player and counterattack. And then lastly, when you feel like you've mastered that dance, you'll start learning about awareness, not just competitive awareness and where you need to be, but also how to approach certain fights, the ebb and flow of the minions and the total scoreboard, and how to keep a bigger perspective on the game outside of just those single duels. I've never encountered a fight where I felt like I was at a disadvantage based off the class I chose. It comes down to tactics, and sometimes, and mostly, it's the player who is thinking smarter and not harder that will win out in the end. But if you're not aware of your environment, you'll be sliced in the back a lot at first. The split-second nature of the combat system is so damn engaging that you won't see anything else for a few hours. You don't have eyes in the back of your head, and the enemies you'll face will constantly get you from the back. But it feels great when that moment clicks where you really start to take ownership of the space around your character and adjust. You get yourself into less sticky situations the more you play the game, and that rewarding feeling is a great impetus for continuing to hone your skills. So with all that said, I love this game so far. The combat feels very meaty and weighty. It's super satisfying and very brutal. The graphics are very next gen, and the overall polish and fidelity at this stage is a very good sign from Ubisoft Montreal. The only really big problem I have with For Honored is that the game does not have progressive damage resolution. And if you're unfamiliar with that term, it means that damage to you or to an enemy affects the gameplay, and it does not in For Honor. The only thing that happens when you get beat down in a fight is that the screen begins to go black and your character kind of stumbles a little bit to signify that you're near death, but I want progressive damage. And what I mean by that is, if I slice someone in the arm with my sword, their sword arm should fall. Hell, even the sword might fall to the ground. If I do an upward slash and it catches them on that hairy inner thigh of theirs, that guy should be hobbling away on one foot. The reason for this is important because there's a huge problem right now of what I call fight and flee in this game. It's easy to get into a tense fight, hack your opponent down to next to nothing, and then see him turn tail and run full speed to a capture point and heal himself and then run right back into the fight. The problem is, you can't catch him as he's running away because player speed, for the most part, it looks to be normalized and it's not impacted by the damage you inflict. I hope they can add a system like this as it would elevate the realism offered by the game and at the same time fix the issue of having to watch a couple Vikings chase a near-death samurai around like a bunch of little kids at the playground. Other than that though, I'm really excited about the future of this game. It's going to launch February 14th, 2017. Put it on your calendar, it's only a few months away. And thanks for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and talk to me in the comments section and on Twitter if you guys want to see more about this game. See you later, have a fantastic day.